Welcome back to Shemsuniverse. So today guys, we're going to discuss attitude number 7. So the attitude number of 7 is represented by K2 or Neptune. This is the energy over the water. So this has a very volatile sort of nature about it. The attitude 7 is sort of a low, secretive, it's a very hard person to necessarily know, but it does still have its good attributes as well. People, for one, will not feel like they can mess with you. It's not like with the number 6 that was attractive, but yet it was kind of the people person, very agreeable. I would say the number 7 is the opposite version of that. It is very not agreeable. It has the energy of somebody who is potentially dangerous and somebody who likes to keep their life in a lot of privacy. So these things are good attributes to have for somebody who wants to be viewed in this way. But for the more social sort of people, this, like I said, isn't necessarily who you are, but it's just the aura that you're going to come across as having. When you have the number 7 in that sort of position as your attitude number, it's going to make it seem like you're a very serious person, somebody that people don't really want to joke around with too much. So my own little recommendations for people with this number is just try to seem a little more happy, still try to appear agreeable at times, just because if you're a very, very serious person, as is like you have a life path 8 or 7, then you have like an attitude number of 7, you want to still make people understand that you are a likable person, that you are somebody who can be in social settings and group dynamics, all these things, because the 7 is such a secretive and introverted, alone sort of number. It's like a holy number of spirituality, meditation, being by yourself. You still want to make sure that in group settings that you can still network and make connections for business, that you can make lifelong friendships, and then you could have actually a fruitful relationship hopefully in the future. And all of these things is only going to come about as if you're able to understand that that's the number that you exhibit, and then work with it and understand that, yeah, you're going to come across as a serious person or somebody who people don't necessarily want to mess around with, but you can still have a good sense of humor. Your personality will still shine after they first meet you, and that's where they'll meet the real you versus just your attitude number, which is simply your aura. As I've said in other videos, this doesn't necessarily mean that this is how you are in real life. All it literally means that this is the aura that you exhibit when people first meet you. And that's kind of like what their first perspective is going to be of you if they don't know you too well as of yet. But it's still a great number to have. When you mix it with the other life path numbers, like life path 1, this will be a person that's meant to be a leader, but more so in their own sort of way, like pioneering sort of energy. Life path 1 with 7 is going to give somebody the ability to either lead others by powerhousing over them, or they're going to lead others just by example. But it's not really big on the talking. A lot of life path 1s that like to talk and get people involved in what they're doing and network. You can still be like that, of course, but because of the attitude number, the 7 that you're attracting, you're better off just simply leading by example in comparison to trying to lead by other ways. If you just lead by example and just show what you're doing in that sort of way, you'll go a lot farther. For number 2 or number 11, master number 11, of course, same sort of thing. You have a very harmonizing energy, very nurturing, that sort of healer archetype. When you mix that with the 7, you're somebody who can really do good with one-on-one dynamics. I'd recommend any career, especially in psychology, anything like the medical field, just because when you're dealing with one-on-one patients, you guys' real skills can come about, and the intuition that the 7 will naturally give you, even in the attitude number position, will be great for something such as that. With the 3, this is one of the greatest challenges. Life path 3 with attitude number 7 could prove to definitely be a challenge because they're so opposite to each other. You get the life path 3, which is all about social dynamics, artistic expression, being that creative person. And then you get the number 7 that's all about being alone, solitude, privacy, not wanting to be seen. When you bring them together, you get sort of polar opposites. So when people first meet you, they might get the very, very wrong impression of who you are, the opposite polarity of who you are. It's up to you to make sure that they understand that you are definitely a social, outgoing person. You're somebody who's outspoken, but no matter what, understand that people are going to find you intimidating, and it's not going to be able to just be turned off. There's no advice I can give you. With 7, there's already such a serious sort of demeanor about it as the attitude number, and then 3 is kind of serious itself. A lot of people overlook that fact that 3 is very stress resilient and a very strong, robust energy because of the planet that represents it, it's Jupiter. So they already have a very strong and robust sort of personality as is, and when it comes to that seriousness and that sort of dark energy of the number 7, you just get more of a serious person than you would have anticipated. With number 4, we get the Rahu energy, of course, or Uranus, and then you get master number 22, which is a very, very strong energy to have as well. And when you mix that with the 7, this can be okay, just because it depends with my life path 4 friends here, number 22s. If you guys want to be in group settings, you wanted to start a business or do a job that necessitates you needing a group of people to network with, then the number 7 may not be the best for you. But if you're just more so into the typical number 4 type of thing, where you guys end up doing a business in a sort of black sheep sort of way, you're used to going against the herd, you're used to having opposition, the attitude number 7 is not going to do anything to you. Like, that's more so in line with your life path anyway. It gives you that serious outlook that you already have through your life path, and then you just have a serious aura to accompany it, so it's perfectly fine. With life path 5, 5 works with every number so well, just because like I said, it falls right in the middle. So you get life path 5 mixing with attitude number 7, and you get somebody who's a 5 that's very social, adventurous, that daredevil personality. With the 7, you're just going to get somebody who may have a very serious, intuitive sort of aura about them, but at the same time, their adventurous side, that subconscious energy of their life path, will still be so overpowering that the 7 will not inhibit like any social opportunities that they have or anything like that. People will just know that they're serious, but they're still going to like them and feel that they can actually approach them. 5 is the most social number there is, even over 3, so nothing to really worry about there. With 6 faces the same energy that the 3 kind of did. Even if you have a number 33 as a master number, it's still going to be kind of tough, just because that whole attitude of number 7, like, people will initially just feel like they can't really approach you, can't really talk to you. And the 6 is so attractive and so drawing in and magnetic. It's going to be a bit of a mix between yin and yang here, because you get that light energy of the 6. It's all about, getting involved with others, harmonizing, counseling, healing. And then you get the 7 that's just more so about just, don't look at my face. Don't worry about what I'm doing with my life type of energy. And when you get that together, for my advice for life path 6s or 33s is that you need to just be slow with how you introduce your relationships to other people. Understand that when you first meet them, they may be thrown off. They may view you as the type of person that they can't really talk to or trust completely, but you still can use that to your advantage. You can still just understand that it's just going to take a longer time for you to actually maintain or build relationships in the way in which that you want them. But with that understanding, people will actually probably be more empathetic towards you, and they'll end up realizing that you are indeed just a very good person, just with a certain aura about you that is deemed quite serious. Life path 7s, if you have this, I'm sure you have no problem having the attitude number of 7. I actually know somebody who does have attitude number 7 and life path 7, and they love it. They have nothing against it whatsoever, just because everything matches up. They're like, yep, I want a private life. My aura says that I'm a reserved private person. Great. They don't want you to know them anyway. So that's the thing. When you have like an expression number 7, life path 7, the chances that you actually care about what other people think or actually want them to be involved with you is very low anyways. So it doesn't really make much of a difference. With life path 8, with attitude number 7, it's kind of the same thing. The 8s are very leadership oriented, very ambitious. They're hungry. They're just good for the business world. They're kind of cold, almost more serious than the 7 when it comes to the coldness aspect. So if they have an attitude number 7, they'll look at that as like a power move, and they'll just say, well, that makes me just appear more serious, more powerful. That's fine. Understand that people might just be thrown off by you when they first meet you, even as an 8. But I know 8s, because they're represented by Saturn, they're so used to opposition and so used to these things as is that they'll probably just brush it off. It doesn't really mean much. For 9, this is tough, just because Mars and Ketu or Neptune are enemies, and 9 is that ideological, humanitarian sort of number. When you get these two together, it could be a good or a bad thing. The 7 does, of course, it's still a good number. It does have that serious energy, but it does give you the impression of somebody who's very analytical and very intelligent. For 9, this can work for you, because when you want to sell your ideas and tell people about who you are, what you represent, the 7 as your aura is actually, it works quite well, and it just makes you appear to be that much more analytical, that much more stronger in your mind, and more resolute in your ideas. So it does work quite well if you look at it from that way and utilize it like a cheat code, as I'm always advising. If you do not do that, then you may land into some problems just regarding making social connections. But aside from that, that should conclude my video for the attitude number 7. If you guys do have any questions whatsoever, just leave it in the comments for me. Aside from that, guys, please like, subscribe. That's it for today, guys. Peace.